The Maine Prepper, and today I'm going to do a review on some of the attachments, the ones that I recommend for your Leatherman Surge. There is a comprehensive review of the Leatherman Surge here at that link, and if you go over there, you'll click on that, that'll open in a separate window, and go ahead and pause this video, and you can go look at that and come back if you don't already know about the Leatherman Surge. For the purposes of clarity, I'm going to remove the things that came with the Surge when I bought it. The sheath, which I've talked about in detail, and the actual tool, as well as this blade attachment. All came with the Leatherman Surge. Let's talk about then, we'll start down here at the bottom nearest, and that is this, which looks like two pieces, and these are two separate sheaths or carriers, and they hold a total of 21 separate bits, but there are 42 actual bit heads. Each bit has a head on each side, and the head is different from the other one. So there are 42 somewhat different, not entirely unique, but different at least in size, attachments. The attachments range from Phillips head, which I have showed. Also, there are square bit, Torx bit, oval bits. There are a pretty good variety here. In no way all of the bits out there, but a good enough assortment that this should be able to allow you to take apart and repair and fix most of the things that you're going to have with you, hopefully. It's always good to check if you have a piece of equipment that you might take apart to make sure you've got the right size bit on here. This is going to segue nicely into a very cool part of this attachment set. But this is a hardened Kydex type plastic. It's pretty durable, but it's a little bit rubbery, which is nice, so it's not going to snap in half. This has some flexibility, which will help you carry it in your sheath. It also has the option for putting it through a lanyard, so if you want to dummy cord this to you. And I always think that's very important, especially if you're going to go out and do climbing or rafting or anything else. And with a little bit of effort, you can get a piece of parachute cord through here. In order to get parachute cord to fit through something, you just want to take your lighter, burn the end, okay? Now, don't use your bare hand because this is hot, hot, hot plastic and you will burn yourself. Take a glove or a tissue or something, and what you do while it's hot is you form it into a point. Just a quick tip. All right. These attachments will fit as they are. Any of them will fit into your Leatherman Surge by simply opening it up and reaching inside. You have two separate bit holders in here. You have one for the larger tools and you have one for the smaller tools. And the smaller tools only come in this flavor right now, which is a Phillips head and a flat head, and these are eyeglass repair tools, and they interchange Phillips to flat and vice versa. One of the bits that comes with the attachment kit is just a replacement. That's all that is. It's right there. It's this bit. It's just a direct copy of the other one. So it's still good, especially if you've ever had your eyeglasses fall apart in the field or your sunglasses. These will fit the standard Phillips or flathead screws on there. Let me put this away because we're not going to talk about that much. The bit that comes with the Surge is a flathead on one hand and a Phillips on the other, and you simply flip it around to go from Phillips to flat or vice versa. That's a nice feature in and of itself. It's a little cumbersome when you're using this out in the field, because if you have to break something loose, that's fine. But once you get it loose, you've got to rotate this great big clunky non-screwdriver type handle around and around and around, especially if you've got to do a lot of turns on it. And that can be a little bit difficult, especially if you're doing a lot of work. This leads nicely into the next tool. This is the 3.5-inch long Leatherman bit extender or bit driver. And when I got this, I thought this is great because what it'll do is it'll give you the option to reach further with it. And also, if you've ever done any work with a screwdriver, you know it's very nice. You hold the screwdriver with one hand to guide and the other hand to do all of your heavy work when you have to bust something loose or tighten it down really good. That in and of itself is very good. That's a nice feature. It's worth the $10 just for that. The other side is you can take this out and use this to do very fine work. Let's say you've got to twist a screw to get it in, or it doesn't take a lot of torque to break it loose or tighten it on. That alone made this a very valuable tool. When I got it though, I did not realize, I had seen mentioned, but I didn't know until I tried it, this is also a 1/4 inch bit driver. The implications are enormous. This suddenly changes this tool and its ability to do work exponentially. Now you have at your disposal the basic handle, so you can customize your toolkit out there in the field and you can carry some extra bits. Let's say that you have a tool or you have a piece of equipment that you know you're going to have to do some work on, and you do not see the type of bit or the size of bit you need contained in your bit accessory kit. It's easy enough to put that somewhere safe and secure in your rucksack or your bug out bag or your sear kit, and you'll have this available for you. If you're working on a farm like I do, and I'm out there doing something, it's very handy to be able to just have the right tool with me and not have to go all the way back to the barn. So this alone, to me, makes this infinitely worth buying and carrying in the toolkit. A couple of other things that come in another attachment are this belt clip and the lanyard attachment. Now the Leatherman Surge comes with a hidden lanyard attachment, and that attachment, let me put this out of the way, is here in the handle itself. Right behind where the saw blade is, you take the saw blade out, or the bit blade, and you push this retention lever down and use anything flat enough to get in there, and you can slide this up and you see, there it is, voila. Now it's not very long, it's not very large, but just like with the others, it doesn't come out all the way like on the Wave, okay? The Wave, this will come out quite a distance and you can actually get a good sized piece of parachute cord in there. That being said, I was able to melt this piece of cord down and work it through and use this, something of a lanyard. Once that's in there though, it's on there, and here's the problem with most lanyard attachments, including like on my Gerber and everything else. Once you've tied it on there, you have to untie it if you don't want the lanyard anymore, or cut it. That can be a little bit cumbersome. Well, let me show you the beauty of these attachments here. Put these back out of the way. This belt clip, and you see very carefully the square notch here. This mates up with this retention here. This is the retool tension device. You push this down and it allows you to deploy and undeploy the internal tools when it's open. From the outside of the tool, I simply push this on like so. Let me show you again. With the square facing to the outside, push the retention lever down, push down, and it engages and it's locked in. Okay, you give it a tug, look, it's locked on. It's not going anywhere. Now if I tie my lanyard on, all right, I don't have to be stuck with this lanyard. If I want to take the lanyard off, I don't have to untie. Let's say I've tied a really elaborate braided knot on there. I don't have to untie the knot anymore to get this out of my way. I simply push this retention down and pull it out. And now I can use my tool freely as a knife or whatever I'm doing, and it's not caught up. Those of you that don't like the lanyards, this may be a saving grace. This may give you the opportunity to have a lanyard that will allow you to have the positive control of a lanyard. So when you're out like me and you're worried about, and I've lost a knife before and it's very painful, you don't have to worry about losing your knife because you can leave the lanyard attached to your belt gear or anything else. However, if you're going to be doing some work and you know it, you can simply take this off and put it back on when you're done. To me, that's just tremendous because you just have to remember to put it back on. Now my lanyard's back on. My lanyard is back on, holding tight. Let's say that I want to carry my Surge, however, on my belt or in my pocket. All I do then is I take the pocket attachment clip, which will attach in exactly the same way, and you'll see the shape is identical to that of the retention lanyard tool. And I call it a tool because it attaches to, so to me it's a tool. It's identical in shape, profile to the attachment lanyard tool. Here I press this down same way, it attaches the same. And now I have a pocket clip or a belt clip. I wouldn't clip it on the outside of my belt necessarily, but that's up to you. This is so you can put it in your pocket and it won't fall down to the bottom of your pocket and you can pull it out quickly. So if you're not given to carrying your multi-tool around in the pouch, you have the option now to put this on your belt, or actually inside of your pocket, and it doesn't go down to the bottom, because it's really a pain to go fishing something out of the bottom, especially if you have deep pockets. Folks, that's been my review of the Leatherman Surge and the attachments that I recommend. And they are and this comes together, by the way, these two. This is the lanyard and belt clip attachment. This is the bit accessory set, which is 21 separate tools and it's 42 separate bits. And the driver, which in and of itself, if I could only have one, I would pick, of course, the lanyard tool, because I'm so clumsy and it's so interchangeable and that's such a dynamic game changer. But this makes this tool exponentially more valuable to me.